So for obvious reasons, this is called a Banjo lamp. But this lamp actually burns gasoline. Liquid gasoline. Same stuff you put in your automobile. Nowadays, gasoline has additives, but back in the day, 1910 or so, gasoline was just straight distillate and would work perfectly fine in this. We're outside, so the additives don't matter to us, but there were interior gasoline fixtures. They typically had a flame that ignited and lit an incandescent mantle, but this is just going to burn a flame for us tonight. This is made by A.J. Linderman and Hoverson company. It's called an Anchor torch. They actually brand on the valve down here an Anchor. This was made in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as all depicted by the gold leaf on the top here. And I'm going to fill this up here, light it, and show you how to operate this lamp. So I've just put 87 octane into this lamp. The fuel cap up here has a breather hole to prevent a vacuum from suffocating the lamp. We'll get the gasoline canister out of the way. And the way this works, you've got two valves here and you feather it on the main valve. But let's crack that one open. And you have a little bowl right here. That is your starter bowl that you pour gas into. You light that and that preheats the burner. So the burner doesn't work on liquid gasoline as much as it vaporizes that gasoline by heating it up and burning vaporized gasoline. But it is a liquid when it's in the tank. So we'll just let it sit here a second while that starter cup burns off and heats up the burner. Coleman lanterns burn much the same way, or start much the same way. They vaporize the pressurized gasoline or kerosene. Some Colemans use kerosene. They preheat it with a starter cup like this, and right when that cup is about to extinguish, you open up the valve, you inject the gasoline or kerosene, and that's how you then light your mantle, is with vaporized gas or kerosene. So, and you can do the same thing here. We'll open this up right before the cup burns out. Let's actually inject, let's just crack it open, and crack this open. And I've already got a little flame to start. Putting off quite a bit of black smoke because it's an incomplete burn. And there we go. So I'll just crack the main valve open just a little bit. Open this one up. And we're talking not even maybe a tenth of a turn on the main valve to get just the right flow. It's entirely on the jet. The starter cup has burned out. We have a little bit of wind. We have maybe a little bit too much wind for this to burn properly. Usually it's a nice bulbous onion shape of a flame. This sort of lamp would have been used on a barn, maybe a circus, let's say. Just anywhere where you needed light outside at nighttime. And this was crude, it was cheap. I suppose you might be able to use this with kerosene, though it might be a little bit harder to ignite to get it running. I haven't tried it myself. I have run this a few times before and achieved a very nice big bulbous fire that lit up the area quite well. Let's actually turn off the stage light. Let you see exactly how much light this is producing. I could definitely walk by this within about 10 feet of the lamp, all directions. The flame shouldn't be curling underneath, but it's doing that due to the slight wind we have. But nonetheless, with that just about set, I could leave that be. I don't know if there's any better trimming on it. But there is a gasoline lamp. The interior gasoline lamps work somewhat the same way with a generator, which is the term used when you're vaporizing the liquid fuel with the heat of the flame itself. Those lamps, however, use a mantle, like a Welsbach or a Best Light company. They use a mantle, and the heat from the flame is what's used to incandesce the mantle. Mantles are typically made of a semi-radioactive material like thorium or yttrium. They're nowhere near dangerous like uranium or plutonium. If I recall, thorium only gives off alpha particles, if I recall, which can't even go through a sheet of paper. Unlike uranium radiation, which can go through a couple feet of concrete. But so there's no real danger there, but they are technically radioactive, and that's part of the fun to some collectors. But again, in that case, the heat is all that you're utilizing off of the gasoline flame to incandesce a mantle. And those lamps are pretty bright. Many of them advertised 100 candle power. They were probably more around 60 or so. But my family replicated some lamps for the local town hall, and we had 2 originals, and we needed 2 more for the size of the room. They were electrified, non-damagingly, but they were electrified. And each of those chandeliers had 4 burners. So for the size room, you'd have 16 burners, 16 about as bright as this, maybe brighter. And it would light the room. It would work just fine. You definitely open up the windows to get some fresh air in. This is a bit crude. Of course, this is for outside. You get a lot of black soot. But those interior lamps are designed to burn a bit more cleanly with a good oxygen ratio and not produce very much black soot. So I just thought I'd share this with everyone. Not every day you get to see a gasoline-powered lamp, but this is one of them. And again, called a Banjo lamp. The anchor lamp specifically, I'll put on the screen here some detailed photos of the lamp. And that's just what I thought I'd share with you all. You all have a good night.